Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Cocktails with Queens. Woo! Cheers!
Yeah.
Today's drink is the Trigger Happy Alcoholic. So it's basically just like your regular old mimosa. You just sprinkle some Xanax in there, and you just smooth sail on all day. It's good day drinking. You drink it in the morning, you drink it in the afternoon. Then you switch to liquor, straight liquor at about 4 o'clock. It's
there
great. Just kidding. It's a very fucking lighthearted mimosa because I have to work in like a half hour.
Right.
And 6 minutes to drive. But anyway, we're just like chill.
Fake news.
We're chill.
Nice day
We're chill
drink.
here. Basically, it's fucking orange juice. Anyway, and it's delicious. I love it.
It's healthy, I find.
I think the chunk of fruit in there, you get your vitamin C.
You know what?
You know,
This is dinner.
this
Right.
is actually breakfast, lunch, and
And dinner.
And dinner.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
I might
Well,
splurge and have a Tic Tac.
oh my god, you're so bad.
Oh, look at me.
Is that how you keep that girlish figure?
Yes!
Yes!
So just keep
I
your
mean,
titties so full.
Like to keep these titties nice and full. Nice D cups.
There you
The
go.
boys love them.
Well, obviously, you already see that our special guest this episode is none other than Stixen Stones.
Woo! Yeah.
Hey,
We just
thanks
wrapped
for
up.
having me.
Yeah, of course. We just wrapped up some shooting. We have a lot of fun stuff coming for you. So we thought,
Absolutely.
why not do a podcast too? And here we are.
Infinite content. We just try and do as much as we can when we have somebody so talented and willing
Aw.
to work with us.
Y'all are magic.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
She's like the best drag queen within the 300-mile radius at least. So
Who's the other bitch? I want to know. Can I kill
Huh?
her? Is that the bitch that's within a 300, like without, like
You-
the 300?
It's 301, yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna
right.
that bitch, and I'm gonna
I think
find
the
her,
one
we're
out-
gonna have a chat.
Blair St. Clair.
Blair
She's
St.
in
Clair.
Indianapolis.
Oh, God.
Indianapolis is about
But does she have
300
titties
miles
like
away,
this?
maybe?
No,
no, she does not. No,
she does
does
not. I mean, beautiful negative A cups.
Oh my god.
Luscious. Oh god.
Those are at least a C.
No, God, no. These
Negative A.
Negative.
God, no.
They're
Negative
concave.
A.
They're concave.
Concave.
See, that's the problem that I have is I have a lot of boys on Tinder that like are like, ooh, sexy, whatever, and they're like, it's like fetish, which I'm fine with. It doesn't bother me. But it's always funny to me because I'm like, they don't understand how it works. So I'm like, okay, well, you've got this, which isn't much, and then like downstairs. Good luck. You got a lot of hardware to get through to get to anything down there. So
Right,
good luck.
right.
Maybe they know that. Maybe they like the chase.
The
Maybe
challenge.
Maybe they like the challenge.
Right. They're like, let me get a pair of scissors, and we're gonna go to
Yes,
town.
or they think they do.
Well,
But they
speaking
don't
of
know.
speaking of challenges,
Speaking
we
of
had the
challenges.
final challenge for
We did.
Dragula season 2,
did.
the season 2 finale,
Mhm.
final 3 queens. We had Bitch Pudding, we had James Majesty, and Victoria Elizabeth Black
Absolutely.
That's right.
battling it out for that crown.
Wow.
And by battling it out, really would just mean like fucking looking as sickening as possible.
Looking sickening and sick.
And
Girl.
sick. There was
I'm feeling
definitely some
both.
sick.
Yeah, it
going
was
on.
Yeah, kinda
definitely
filthy.
A lot of sick.
So I think a great way to kind of chat about this is we each just kind of talk about one of our favorite moments, and then kind of like just our reaction to. Spoiler alert! Just so you guys know, we will be talking about who won. So if by some fucking immaculate reason you fucking have not seen that, even though this is the same platform you can watch the goddamn show on, you might want to go watch that first.
Right.
True.
So let's go. I'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
I would say my favorite moment of the floor show in general was Bitch Pudding's filth look. She had this just like. At first, I was like kind of nervous because I really wanted her to do well, and when I just saw her at first, like I was like, okay, it's kind of
Yeah.
a little basic
Yeah,
looking,
right.
a little basic looking, but she fucking sold the shit out of that. I
Yeah.
literally got nauseous whenever
Really?
she started fucking
Yeah.
around with the, and I'm not queasy easily. I'm really not.
Question.
Yeah.
Before we go on, before you watch the finale, who is your pick to win? I just have to know.
Oh, that's a good question.
bitch for both
It was
of
bitch
us.
pudding
Bitch
for both of you.
Okay,
Yeah. And for
I
you?
was Victoria Black until I watched the finale,
Uh-huh.
and then with Bitch showing as much variety as she did, it
Yeah.
changed my mind.
Yeah.
Because in the middle of it, I was like, Victoria is amazing, and I love her, and she's my favorite. But I was like, she didn't show as much variety
Yeah.
as
Right.
Bitch did, and I was like, it changed my mind within the finale because
Yeah.
I was like,
Bitch is always so unpredictable, and that's
Yeah.
like what I like about her.
And she really does sell the shit out of like whatever
Sure it is.
whatever she's trying to fucking
She does.
sell.
Yeah.
Like her with that like janitor's outfit. it, like, again, on its own, not the best, but, like, the way she sold it with, like, the mop bucket, the fucking hair in the drain, her sucking on her big toe.
Her sucking her toe was, like,
yeah,
really taking it there, I thought. So I'm like, wow, okay.
So, I mean, just...
Superstar.
Just embodying Dragula, definitely the filth aspect, at least at that moment in time, I was literally gagged. Like, I don't have a queasy stomach, but, like, something about, like, the fucking, the color of the water and just, like, how she was just, like, really fucking in it. And I don't know if that was, like, I doubt it was, like, a real drain, but it looked so realistic.
Say it would be.
You think? Really?
I mean, if it were me, because I was thinking about it when it happened, because, I mean, I work in the theater, so I'm always trying to figure out, like, the secret behind everything. I mean, you could make that water pretty easily. I mean, it wouldn't be yummy, but you could make it with probably just about, like, any sort of, like, if you got water and, like, chocolate syrup and mixed it around, you could probably get something similar. And it wouldn't taste good, but it wouldn't taste that bad.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, I'm like, it would not be easy to do, like, the hair and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you set yourself up correctly, then it would be pretty easy to, like, do something like that and make it look really, and, like, be able to get into it and not have it be, like, that gross for you. That you're not gagging so that everyone else is gagging.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. You're really committed to it.
Really committed to it.
Really.
Yeah, really getting in there.
You said you thought it might have been wig hair, even?
I mean, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I think that would be the easiest way to get that
I
much
mean,
hair.
unless she's, like,
Just, like,
collecting it
cut a
from
little
the
bit out of the
floor.
back
Right.
and fucking, like, rub it on a storm drain.
Yeah.
Or a fucking plug drain or whatever the fuck
Right.
they're called. So, I guess we can just go down
Yeah,
the
I
line
was totally
here.
with you on that. Like, the filth look that bitch did, so good. And it's, like I said, not what I would expect, you know? It was really... really shocking with, like, everything she was doing with the drinking and the toe sucking and the pudding, and it hurt. There was just, like,
Puddin', her name
something
tag.
so off with it that I, like, loved it.
Mhm.
But I guess I won't say that's my favorite since you already talked about that one. I did also love Bitch's glamour look. I thought that was another good example of
that was
unexpected.
Yeah.
Like,
Making the challenge hers.
Yeah.
You know.
I love that she had, like, the blue skin, and she's done a few things like that I've seen before with, like, a lot of color on, like, her, like, entire body. I think that's really cool, and her having her butt out, you know, in the thing was so fun too.
Amazing.
I was into it.
It was a super cute, like, outfit, and, like, just having, like, the exposed ass that was, like, her real ass, too. It was, like, it's at least a little fucking, like, glamorous, like, sexy surprise.
And it wasn't, like, a big gown, you know, like the other two, so it, like,
Yeah.
really stood out that way.
I like
True.
that she has that, like, weird niche of, like, pageant. Like, because her, like, pageant bride look when she was playing John Benet Ramsey is, like, still haunting me to this day.
Yeah.
It was beautiful and, like, kind of what I like about Bitch Pudding, because it's that, like, irreverent, and it's kind of funny, but it's still, like, big and, like, buxom and sexy.
And beautiful.
And
like,
beautiful,
even, like,
gorgeous.
the use of, like, the powder, I thought that was what really sold it for me.
Absolutely
I just
sold
love
it.
how that kind of stuff looks in that lighting, like, on camera. Like, it was great.
Yeah.
I think for me, I had a couple, like, there were a couple moments where, and I want to talk to you guys about this too, like, there were a couple moments where I was, like, let down, but then there were a couple moments where I was, like, actually out loud gasped, which doesn't happen to me that often.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think for me, the most that I gagged was with Victoria's filth look, only because my brain is always like, oh, if you're doing filth, you're going to go with the grossest thing possible. And I liked what she did with it because it was gross, but it felt like something that I felt like I could wrap my mind around. Because every time I've thought about possibly, like, auditioning for the show and being in it, filth is what I lack. And I was really glad that she took it a different direction. I mean, it was very horror, but it was still, like, there was something about it that I was like, that's good, because I think doing filth, all I've ever seen anyone do is either, like, sexual innuendos or, like, bodily functions, and that's all I ever see when they do filth.
Yeah, she did have a good take.
Yeah,
on
that
it.
wasn't super
It was
obvious
beautiful.
either.
Yeah, and because when she brought out the body bag, I mean, it was like, Victoria, that's horror. That's not filth. And I immediately was like, oh, you're not gonna get it. This is gonna be fucking too horror, and they're gonna call you out on it. And then seeing where she took it and how it was not at all what I expected, I was like, that's good.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. You know.
The Boulet brothers loved it. They talked
did.
about that one as
I
their
thought they
favorite
would get her
look
for
from
it.
the film.
Yeah, I thought they would say, "Well, that was okay." You know what I mean?
I
That
think
was
it's
too
kind of like what you're
horror.
talking about, though, because, like, it was so different, even than, like,
Yeah.
considering what the girls last year did at the
Oh,
Fall
yeah.
show. Like, the others, you know, were also similar, and that one was
It's
just really
true.
unique approach. So I liked it.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
I personally, I thought it could have still been taken just a little bit
I
further.
agree. Yeah.
Not necessarily in like a filthy way, but some sort of like, I don't know if the cadaver, is that the right word?
Cadaver,
if the cadaver,
yeah.
I don't know, would have had some other like function to it. Even
Sure.
like, I don't know. I think that if it had some like one more element, it would have like trumped puddins for me.
I can agree with that. I think
just because it was so
great.
out of the box. And different.
Yeah, I could have been a lot filthier. I agree, but I think that's what I liked about it was just that it was an elegant take on filth, and we haven't seen that in the competition yet because just thinking about it now.
Oh, now you elegant. Now she elegant.
Oh, she's elegant. She's put together. No, but like every filth we've seen thus far, out of the 6 that we've seen, has had to do with something in the mouth or something coming out of the mouth.
Right.
And
Or
oral fixation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's cool, but that's like all kind of in that same like bodily function realm, which is filthy, but I'm like, I would feel like I would have to figure out a new way to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honey, if it were me, I would take a shit on stage, load it into a fucking squirt gun, and just like start shooting the cat or the other cast members and the crew.
And the crew, huh?
I love that. Yeah,
that's an idea.
Piss in it too.
Dragula season 3, right here.
Oh, honey, you want to see filth?
Honey,
I can get real filthy real quick.
Oh, girl.
So was that your fave then?
Was that your
I
fave
don't know if
moment?
it wasn't my favorite moment.
Okay.
But it was, as far as like
Noteworthy?
gag-worthy moments, I think that was noteworthy.
Stuck out.
What was your favorite? Do you have a favorite moment?
I don't know. I mean, like you said, I liked Bitch's glamour look a lot. I thought
You're kind of
James Majesty's glam look was also something that made me physically like, because they started with the shot of her feather train, and I immediately was like, oh,
Yeah.
like, you know what I will say? Don't slaughter me for this. I loved Bitch's horror look, but when the lights came on, I didn't like it as much.
I agree.
Because I liked this, but the gown, like, the sleeves were amazing, but the gown looked to me like something you could buy or make pretty easily, and I was like...
It was kind of what's the word? Not like a gag, but almost like a...
it was.
Like a trick or something.
Yeah.
I personally was most scared by hers. Like, I was like
Starry
really
eyes.
kind of like it was so unexpected. Like,
I agree.
I agree with you that it could have had more elements to it to make it hold up a little long term when the lights were on, and even whenever you mentioned whenever she was talking with
When
the
she was
ballet
crowned,
brothers.
she had to take the teeth out.
Oh, really?
And I hate that because that kind of breaks the illusion.
And the eye thing. She had to
Yeah.
take both the big parts of it
And
off.
that was like my problem with Frankie Doom last year was like I loved her like look, and she had those freaky teeth, but then when the teeth come out, it's like, how am I supposed to buy into this when it's removed right in front of me?
No, I get that.
So I didn't like that about Bitch's costume.
It was so scary though. I was like literally
Right.
like, spooked
It was good,
and
yeah.
ooked and gooked. When
I think I just wanted
she
more of a
came out.
narrative.
Yeah.
Because I got, when the lights were off, I was like, oh, this is like a cave woman with like bat-like tendencies or something like that. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what more there is that I can divulge from this look. And then I was like, but you're wearing a gown. So you have like two conflicting ideas, and it's not they don't go together, but I just wanted a little bit more detail. Like, she could have kept the dress, because the dress was beautiful, but I was like, just give me something that can sell this idea of like that cave woman.
Yeah, they mentioned the digital or like new age or whatever, like Nosferatu.
I love that.
Yeah,
and I thought that was
once
really
they
cool.
said that, like that really made me like it more too. But that was like Boulay Brothers themselves saying
interpreting
that, so.
it.
Yeah, I love
Which
that.
it would have been cool if she had some sort of element there to like make that kind of take that even further with the narrative.
Sure. Yeah.
You know.
Even something with the makeup could have done that because
Yeah.
the face was pretty simple too.
If you want to do like Nosferatu, you can give it a little bit more structure, because that's Nosferatu, right? He had like a suit coat on,
Right.
So you could add a little bit more structure to it, and then that would take it into another level. But as it was, like with Victoria Black, for instance, with her horror look, or James Majesty's horror look, I can look at that and I can create a world around what's going on there. Whereas with Bitch, it felt like I just didn't know what I was supposed to be seeing.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful, but I
Agreed.
just wanted
And
to
actually,
see
I want to
more
talk
detail.
about Victoria Black's
Yeah.
look for the horror, because I thought and I want you to talk about what you said too, because that was a really good point.
It's like the texture.
Yeah, but I loved that it was so different than what she had done. Basically, almost the entire competition.
Yeah.
Like, that moment was really cool, in my opinion. Because she had always done really pretty, like, very, like, almost, like, fishy, just, like, beautiful horror fish. Horror, glamorous fish.
Yeah.
And then for that, she was just so hideous. And you talked about the dress and her skin.
Yeah, it was like essentially the same. I thought that was really interesting that she painted like the same texture all the way up.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But you were right about the narrative, like you kind of having that really clearly for each of their looks. But at the end, I'm really happy bitch won.
Yeah.
I'm super, super pleased about that. I think that she
earned it.
Yeah, she earned it 100% from the moment she was fucking letting those bitches get to her. And, like, ever since that moment, she just, like, flipped the script on them and just, like,
in a Beyonce costume.
In a Beyonce costume. Yeah. That's what's up. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you guys about, have you noticed there's, thus far, the boulets are going under a little bit of scrutiny.
Hot tea.
This is real tea.
Well, because there's a little bit of scrutiny with the whole Erica thing, because they told her you're not monster enough. So a lot of people I've heard have said, we're not sure why that's a thing. Like, why is it that in order to be a monster you have to be gothy or spooky or whatever? But then I noticed, and I don't know if I said anything to you guys about it, but I noticed there's kind of a formula as far as top 3 so far, and it could just be coincidence, but thus far, James Majesty and Melissa B. Fierce, both not considered monsters, came under a lot of flack for having a bad attitude, great at glamour makeup, but their attitude was like their biggest downfall. Then you've got Victoria Black and Vander, both of which are like, they both grew up doing haunted house stuff, they both are like really great at special effects, really great at like extravagant costume, extravagant storyline, and then Bitch and Frankie, who both have come in flack under like not really giving enough at times and kind of falling a little bit behind in the competition before and maybe not doing as much. And I thought that was just something that I saw it playing out.
That
and I
is
was like,
super
this
interesting.
Is very
Yeah, I
similar
see the
to what we
parallels.
saw.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why I thought, I was like, I wanted Victoria to win, but at the same time I was like, but at the same time, if she wins, then that's a formula that then we have to break Dragula of like, oh, you're the most extravagant costume, you're the most like heavy prosthetics, and like suddenly you win because you have that. And I was worried about that because I was like, I don't know if that's what I want it to be.
Right.
For real.
But
so interesting. Yeah, I did not. I mean, I kind of saw some of that, but even like you laying out the history of them and everything really paints like an interesting picture. I'm sure. I mean, it's just like any other TV show, especially with this like newer season. They kind of have like, you know, they had a formula that worked. Yeah. You know, that people really responded to. The budget's a little bit bigger, and they're just kind of like maybe going with that, like along those same lines. Yeah. And kind of tweaking it a bit. Like for instance, like. Shows always love, like, the first one that comes to mind was, like, Violet Chachki for season 7. Yeah. Like, they love kind of, like, a redemption story. Like, because Violet was such a fucking cunt the first half, and then, like, she kind of got better, like, at the second half, to make her more likable. So, like, Bitch Pudding was getting her, like, ganged up on, like, was getting, like, basically drugged through the ringer, like, and then she had her moment, and just, like, excelled, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's something that a lot of the audience can identify with. It's like, you know, like, I can overcome this, you know what I mean? Kind of like...
I'm curious how much of that is, like, a thing of, like, when... I was listening to them all talk about why they should win. I've noticed, like, a through line in Drag Race, but also in Dragula last season, that a lot of what you say, I don't know how much of them are pushed to say certain things, but like for instance, Courtney Act could have won her season more than likely because she did pretty well, but she said, when they said, why should you win? She said, money. And then some of the other girls, like with Melissa B. Fierce, when they asked her, well, why should you win Dragula in her interview portion, she was like, well, I just feel like I have to prove myself, or like all this other stuff. But then what I've noticed is like Raja, Bitch Pudding, Vander, I don't know, not so much like Violet, but a lot of the queens who win these competitions tell a story about like how they feel like they have to like, you know, they had a bad past. And I wonder how much of that, I don't know if there's like writers involved or if that's just a way to win. It's just to be like, I feel like I'm a voice, and like that's great, you should be. But I've just been curious to see how many times, because Melissa B. Fierce, probably could have won her season as well. I mean, Vander, in my opinion, was obviously the winner.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But Vander told a much different story about why she should win, whereas Melissa was like real attitude-y about it and very like, this is on me and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Or if you say like, I need the money to survive, they're
right.
like, you lose.
I think it's a certain amount of like vulnerability and like relatability, you know, that they're kind of really looking for. I mean, it's just like a pageant, really. Like, you know, it's kind of the same thing. I mean that's a whole nother video in and of itself. It's just like fucking hacking the drag race and fucking Dragula and every reality competition ever, like hacking that code and like how much the producers have to do with it.
Yeah, I would just be curious to see how much that plays into the
You're trying to look under the hood.
Well, bitch, get on the show and you can tell us. You let us know.
Okay,
we'll get the exclusive. We got the TMZ
I'll have,
right
like,
here.
A little camera on me at all times so that you guys can.
Yeah, right. I'm sure they would let that fly.
I'm sure they would love that. They'd
Live
like,
streaming.
Live fucking some Black Mirror shit with like a contact lens.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
There you
the
go.
camera.
Cool. Into it.
We're almost there, right? All right. Well, we should probably wrap this up. We want to thank you guys so much for watching. Who do you think had deserved to win Dragula Season 3? Let us know in the comments below. Huh?
Season 2?
Oh my god, Season 3. Well, who do you think should win Season 3, bitch?
Right?
Who do you want on Season 3?
There we go.
Yeah.
We have 3 contestants right here.
Yeah.
Right.
Tag your faves.
All
Top
right.
3.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter and all that fun stuff. Our Instagram is In Between Branches and Stixen.
My Instagram is House, that's Haus of Stones.
Bam.
On Instagram.
All sorts of great inspiration, turning looks, turning thoughts. Everything you want on Instagram.
Wow.
Right there in 2 places.
It's fabulous.
You'll never need anything else.
All right. Any parting words, ladies?
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.